Hello and welcome back. It is the 14th of December. I'm going to open the next day of our advent calendar for you. So in here we have got, I can already see what it is. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Today we have got the Yeti cake. Very excited. Been wanting to do this one for ages. I've had these purchased for a while. But I wanted to wait until the last 13 days of December. Well, not 13 days of December, the 12 days leading up to Christmas and the day after. I wanted to wait to do this during this time. And as I said to you before, my husband picked the order in which these would come out. So I'm very excited he picked this one for the second festive make. So I'm going to pop that down. I'm going to pan you down. And then I shall go and grab that capsule. One moment. Okay, so I am back. First of all, I want to highlight how exceptionally cute this capsule is. I have obviously put the topper on myself already. Anybody that's in America will recognise this little chap. Anyone that isn't, this is the mascot of the Target stores in America. I've been to a Target store once when I went to Australia, and it was absolutely wonderful. I wish we had one in England. They were fabulous. Anyway, so you get a red bottom for your capsule. You get this really cute little bag with this one. And in it we have our Read Me First, which again, when you get them from America, is really small and simple, and I like it. Just taking a quick look to see if there's anything specific I need to know. Use tweezers to pop bubbles. Interesting. Okay, so everything else is the same, but that was an interesting little tip that I've not seen before. So put our little bag in there, like that. Pop the Target dog there. We have some really cute little stickers. We have this absolutely lovely paper, I have to say. I've seen other people make this one. Obviously this is the first time I've made this one. But look at that paper. Isn't that lovely? And it does give you a little sneaky peek at some of the things that we're going to be making in the full series of these. If we get them. Who knows? I might have them all already. You will find out in due course. So there's little bits of cardboard flashing. I've noticed that when you get the things from America, they always have little bits of paper and stuff stuck to them. Not a criticism, just an observation. It's very easy to remove. I've got something stuck to my nail there. Speaking of my nails, I have had a couple of people ask, and yes, I do my own nails. I used to pay someone to do them, but that was many years ago. And I find them very easy to do at home, and obviously a lot cheaper, which we like. So in that little cute piece of paper, we have this lovely transparent blue cake stand. Come to that in a minute. We have a lovely little red spatula. We have the plain silver tweezers. I'll pop over there. We have a little bag, which is exactly the same as the tissue paper I just showed you, but in a paper sort of shiny black bag form. We have some really cute little Christmas light shaped candies. Very, very cute. What colours do we have? We have green, blue, red and yellow. I think that's all the colours we get. We will find out, but yeah, they're very, very sweet. Pop them there, because we will be using at least that amount. So, and again, the same bag, sort of plasticky, shiny paper. And then in our last bag, we have got some cookie icing. Favourite day, white. What does that say? Add some fun. Let's just take this little label off. I hate these labels anyway. I understand why they're on there. I do. And I appreciate you, Miniverse, for making sure that everybody stays safe. But they are a pain. The amount of times I've removed one of these and taken some of that beautiful packaging underneath off by accident. Don't enjoy. Okay. Just getting the extra sticky off. Okay. So on the back of the icing it says, directions, knead pouch for 1 minute, remove cap. Snip the tip just above the second ring. Squeeze icing onto cookies as desired. Icing will flow to fill gaps. Icing begins to set after 4 minutes. Wait about 4 hours before stacking cookies. Secure the cap before storing. Do not refrigerate. You've got your nutritional facts there. I'll just leave that there for a minute if you want to pause and take a look. Obviously, these are just replicas of the instructions that you would have on the actual product. This is not real icing, obviously. Just disclaimer. And then we have a cute little nozzle to go on top of there. But there's also a cap, which is wonderful. We like that a lot. So now on to the absolute best part. I'm just going to open the lid and then we're going to take a look at the box. So on the front it says, Favourite Day Yeti Cave. Sugar cookie kit. Let me just see if I can work out what else that says. Includes pre-baked. Yeah, I can't read that right now. Are you going to focus? Are you going to focus? Will you focus if I take my hand away? There we go. There you go. So, and the side's this really pretty. There's your nutrition facts. Again, I will keep that there if you want to pause and have a read of those. And then on the back, we've got what's inside. So it says that inside, well, it shows, again, this writing is very tiny. If you can read that, go ahead. I can just about read it if I look through the camera, but I can't read it in person. Obviously, we do get magnifying kits with some of, magnifying glasses with some of the kits. So feel free to use those. But there we are. So in here we have got, oh my god. As I say, this is the first time I've seen this in real life. And oh my goodness. Look at this little guy. That's our little Yeti. He is so adorable. Like, I have really tiny fingers. And he's so tiny in comparison to my finger. It's insane. I mean, you know what the size, if you've had Miniverse in the past, you know exactly what size these spatulas are. There's a comparison for you. My goodness. Wow. Okay. Sorry, I just had to do that. I'm going to do another one of those actually. Here is your spatula. Everybody knows what size that is if you've got one of these kits before. And here's the little polar bear that you get. Isn't he just the cutest thing? Look at him. He's beautiful. Okay, so I appear to have scuffed my skin up there, making something else at some point. Ignore that. Then we also get 3 pieces of cookie. So we get a really nice back piece. They're not very bendy. They're hard plastic. They've got the grooves in them. The back is completely plain. And the front has this lovely rocky detail. This is the bottom of the cake, I'm guessing, the bottom cookie with the grooves. My understanding of this kit is it's like a gingerbread house, but it's a Yeti cave, basically. So you would make a gingerbread house out of large sheets of cookie and then put them together to form something new. Then we have this piece. Not sure. Oh, okay, that's going to be the archway, I think, that it's going to go there to form the cave. Slightly flexible, but I wouldn't play with it too much just in case. So that's all the pieces that we've got for this kit. So let's take a look at what we're going to do. So the first thing we're going to do is put the actual cave itself together. So let's do that and then we'll move on. So first thing it tells you to do is get these two pieces and slot those grooves in together. Yeah, I'm going to put that down flat and do that into it like that. Is that in tight? Yeah. In there nicely. And then we're going to take our little archway and we're going to pop that into those grooves and into the back. Are we going to have another spaces moment where this is going to be difficult because it's already clipped in a little bit, but not as badly, so that's fine. Okay, and again, it felt a little bit flimsy when it was just the bottom and the back on, but now that I've put the archway on, it is rock solid, not going anywhere. So the next thing it tells you to do once you've made that is to take some of the icing, put some around, so put the cake up this way, put some around here, pop some lights on, and go from there. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I think I've just had a really cool idea. I think I might put some of the flocking powder on this as well. Left over from our Christmas tree. So let's start with this and go as we mean to go on. So I'm just going to take the cap off of the icing. No, I'm not going to use the nozzle. As per usual, I will not be using the nozzle. I will instead be doing it this way. I keep thinking I can see someone out the corner of my eye, and it's one of my strands of hair has come out of my ponytail and keeps flopping down onto my face and getting into my field of vision. Okay. So I'm not going to be too delicate with it, but I'm not going to be like overly heavy-handed either. I'm just going to make sure that there's a nice even coating, and maybe some places are a bit thicker than others because, you know, that's what happens, isn't it? So I'm just going to grab a pre-used spatula just to smooth that out a little bit, just so we've got a nice even coating all the way around. Like that. Lovely. And then we're going to take our little lights. Let's do a blue one first, because that's what I'd like to do. Oh no. So this is obviously to make it look as though the Yeti lives in his little cave and he's got Christmas lights around the entrance to his cave, which I think is just adorable. Grab another little light and pop it just onto there. Wait. Get a yellow one next. Put that there. Red one. Come here, you. There. What should we do next? Let's just go in the design. So put one facing that way. It's up to you, obviously, but my advice is when you're doing this, don't try and put them into like a perfectly neat line. Do try and sort of make them look a bit staggered, because if you have had Christmas lights, you know they don't always just sit perfectly. So I'm just sort of doing a vague one way, one the other way kind of thing. But it won't play ball, it keeps pinging itself back to that central position, which is annoying. You can see it happening in real time. Look, watch that one. Oh no, that's okay. If that's where you want to go, mate, that's where you can go. I don't mind. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. So I'm going to try and move this one that way a little bit. Don't slide off. Again, like with the Christmas tree, this one's very fiddly, but it's also adorable, and I do love it so. Just pop a bunch more of those out. So we've got green next. Get off, red. And then we're going to have, after the green comes the yellow. Oh, that little red. It's the same one as last time, I believe. Fine, you want to be there? So that one goes that way, that one goes that way, that one goes that way, that one goes that way. So this one goes this way. No, come back. There you go. You wanted to be on there? Now you're on there, bud. Okay, and then the yellow one in between there, like that. Now again, they don't want to stay where I put them. They have formed themselves into a perfect little design, so I'm just going to let them do that if that's what they want to do. Just going to let them do that. I don't think it looks bad. I am going to just change the spacing a little bit though, because I do think the spacing's a bit off now. Sorry if this is tedious to watch, but I am a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my mini makes. Okay, I think that looks quite good. So I'm just going to move that resin out the way and hit that with my torch. Wow, look at those orange ones. I don't know if you can see very well on the video. Let me just check. Look at that. As soon as you get that torch on there, they shine. I wish they all did that. That'd be cool. But yeah, it's just the red ones. Shine bright orange. Very, very sweet. Like that a lot. So we're going to leave that there for a couple of minutes. And then we'll do the next stage. So the next stage it tells you to do is to put some more icing on top of the archway entrance to the house, inside the little house and along these peaks. I'm going to do that, but I am going to add some flocking powder as well, I think, because I think that's going to look really, really cute. So let me just double check these, see if they're nice, and yeah, they are firmly on there now. So let me just grab my little, this is the little tub that I put my extra flocking powder into. Obviously that's not all of it, that's just the stuff that ended up on the table. Yes, there was that much on the table. So now we're going to grab our icing again, pop a nice big blob there, grab our used spatula and just distribute that along the top, let it drip down the sides a bit. That's what it shows in the picture, to just coat the whole outside of this archway. So that's what we're gonna do. Cover up those little bits where the pieces meet. This will also offer a bit of stability as well as looking adorable. You know, obviously it is just clipped together. You know, with little notches of plastic. So I think doing this, I'm just going to put it all in there. I think doing this will add a lot of stability to it as well, which is good. So that's that side done. Going to do a little bit more on this side. Like that. You do get a lot of icing for this build, I have to say. That is I mean, you saw the size of the tub. There's a lot of icing, which is really good. I do like a lot. So I'm just making sure I get that in all of the little edges and grooves there. Like that. Make sure it's all nice and coated and all sort of an even thickness all along. And then I'm going to grab my flocking powder. I know this is going to mean that I'm going to end up having to clean up again after this one, but I don't care. The things we do for our art, eh? Well, this is going to go absolutely everywhere, straight from the off, isn't it? As soon as I open this packet, I'm going to get covered. I wish I'd known I was going to have this idea, because then I would have left some and not tidied it all up. I'm just going to let that do its thing, actually. There you go. Do what you want. Dump it all out. Why not? So just make sure that all of that exposed resin is coated. I think this is going to add a really nice dimension to it that they don't tell you to do, for obvious reasons. The obvious reasons, just in case you were wondering what I mean by that, being that they don't give you any more flocking powder, and obviously the only reason I have this is because my previous video was the Christmas tree. So I think that looks really cute. I think it looks a bit like granulated sugar, which is quite good. I'm just going to get any bits that have gone outside of that off and just clean this edge up a bit so that we're not going over those cute little details at the back. Want to keep those nice and sharp. Obviously you don't have to do this with the flocking powder. If you don't have any, don't worry. You know, it's not part of the kit. As I've said, I just had some left over, a hell of a lot left over if I'm honest. And I thought, you know what, that's what I would like for this build, so that's what I'm going to do. As I say, you can pretend it's like granulated sugar or very, very fine desiccated coconut or something. So I'm just going to cover in those little bits that I've just accidentally uncovered again. Just to make sure it looks good. There we are. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that under my torch for about 5 minutes just to make sure that is all very well cured, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that layer is now fully cured. I've now cleaned up the extra bits of snow, ready to be put back into the tub. I am still getting a little bit coming off on my fingers, not because the resin is not cured, but just because some of it didn't really adhere to the resin completely, but that's fine, I don't mind. So then we will get the spatula and we will grab some of this. I'm going to put this back on its back, I think. Grab some more of this resin. We pop it on with the spatula. Flip that back up and then just attach it to that top peak. I'm just going to put it on quite thick but not too thick, and then just sort of let it naturally fall down. And then once it's come into a little drip, just kind of guide that drip down so it continues going down the mountain face. So it just continues to go down there, but it doesn't look like I've just put it there, if that makes sense. Hope it does. It's very small, it's very fiddly, it's very, 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 yeah, very fiddly is definitely the right word. It's very, very fiddly, but it's just so cute, and it's going to look adorable once it's finished. and it'll make a great addition to any display case or doll's house, Christmas table, whatever you want to do with it. What do you do with your mini? If you collect Miniverse, what do you do with them? Do you make little dioramas? I've got a friend of mine who collects Miniverse, and she's made a really cute replica of her home, which is just adorable. I've seen so many people do so many different things. I personally obviously have dolls' houses that I'm still in the throes of making. I might do a live at some point to show you some of that. Who knows? We will see if I get brave enough. And I also have like little displays. Obviously, a lot of the things that I've been doing during December are displayed on my desk in front of me. So more to keep you remembering the things that we've done this month than anything else. Obviously, as the days go on, I will be changing it all from what it is currently to all of the little festive ones we're going to be doing. And I have festive ones from multiple different series. Obviously, the one I did yesterday was the Christmas tree from the Miniverse holiday, and then this one is from the Target holiday. So we are already 2 series in across the 2 days we've done so far. What do we think? Do we think that looks peaky? I think it does. I'm quite happy with that, she says as she puts it all over her finger. So I'm just going to give that... No, I'm not. I'm not going to do what I was just about to say I'm going to do. I'm actually going to pop some on the floor of this cave and spread that. Again, you can do whatever you like. You can have like in the picture it shows like a small amount, but then in the instructions it tells you to coat the whole thing. It's completely up to you. If you don't want any snow at all inside the cave, you don't have to, but I think it looks quite cute personally. I want this to look like, you know, sat snow, and I want the cave entrance to look like it's sort of freshly fallen, which is why I wanted that bit a bit more gritty. Okay, so now that we've done all of the snow, I'm then going to take my little Yeti. Where do we want him to sit? Come here, you are. I'm going to have him stood there, I think. Stood there enjoying his Christmas lights. And then the little polar bear is going to be sat on the opposite side, so they're having a little chat. Whether polar bears and yetis exist in the same space, I don't know. Don't think it matters because it's a fantasy build. So I'll be right back. I'm just going to cure that for 5-10 minutes, and then we will move on to the final results. Okay, that is now fully cured. What do we think? I think it's gone really, really nice. I really like the differences in textures of the snow on the 2 pieces. I think that this has dripped down really nicely. Obviously you can put more on if you want to make it thicker, but I think it looks really cute. Are you going to focus if I put you closer? Let me put you in the palm of my hand and try that. There we go. I think it's turned out really, really nice. I really, really like it. I wish I could get that effect with the UV, that glowing effect there all the time, because I think that's just lovely. But, you know, maybe I'll play with it in the future. I don't know how resin reacts with real working lights. I don't know if there's some point where I could, you know, get some battery powered lights and coat them in the resin and attach them to these builds. I'm not sure. Never tried it, never looked it up, don't know. So I really hope you enjoyed this one. As I say, I've got many more festive makes to do with you over the next 2 weeks. Well, not 2 weeks, but just shy of 2 weeks. So please do join me for the next one, and I'll see you then. Enjoy. Bye.